Hello friends, my name is Anjum Zahid and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we will build an agentic AI application using MCP servers. In this project, we will get the weather update from any city in the world and get the summary of the weather update and send this summary to the email address using MCP server. The amazing part of this project is that the MCP client is smart, intelligent AI agent, which will think and decide which tool to call, whether update or it will call email ID. So here is the flowchart of the project. In MCP client, we will input a query prompt. We will ask for weather update from any city in the world. So here we implement LangGraph and LangChain. We will use React agents in LangGraph, which will decide based on the input query that which tool to call, whether it will call MCP server 1 or it will communicate with MCP server 2, which is connected with email tool. And we will use LangChain with multiple server MCP client. Because we are using more than one MCP servers. Here we are using two MCP servers, MCP server 1 and MCP server 2. So communication between MCP client and MCP servers are unified API. These are standardized API. Both are same protocols we will use to communicate with MCP servers. But MCP servers communicate with external world with unique API. Let's suppose MCP server 1 when get the weather from any site, it will communicate with unique API. So when MCP server 2 sends the email, it will also use unique API to send the email. So we will use VS Code to build this project. So let's go to the VS Code and start building this project. I will guide you step by step how to build this project. So first of all, let's open the VS Code. And here we will create new folder in our downloads location. Here we create new folder with MCP server. Let's open this folder. And here we will open the terminal and we will use UV instead of pip. Let's see our UV is installed or not. If your UV is not installed, then please install the UV for quick and reliable installation. Okay, UV variant. Yes, I have already installed the UV. Let's initialize it. UV INI. Here our project files are automatically created. Okay, so first of all we will create weather.py file, which is over MCP server 1. Okay, here is our MCP server 1. Here we will create weather.py file. In MCP server 2 we will create email tool.py file. Okay, let's create these files. Okay, so first of all create weather.py file. And we also required email tool.py file. Okay, and we also required in the third py file will be required client.py file. Okay, we will create client.py file. Okay, we have created all the three files. So first of all, we will create the virtual environment. Okay, so we will write UV in the current directory. Okay, our virtual environment is created. And then we will activate this environment. Let's copy this and activate this. No, this is, I think this will run from command prompt. Okay, let's run the command prompt, and here we will write, yes, here we will write from command prompt. In PowerShell it is giving error. Here we will run it from command prompt, and here we have activated our virtual environment. Let's clear the screen. Now let's create the dot requirements.txt file where we will install the necessary libraries. So here we will create requirements.txt. Okay, so the first library we have required langchain-groq. Okay, the second library is langchain MCP adapters, and the third library we will require MCP, and fourth LangGraph, and fifth httpx to send the http request to the external world. Okay, and we also required, so all these libraries we have required. So let's install these libraries. So we will write uv, instead of pip you will write add -r requirements.txt. Here our libraries have been installing. Let's wait. So all the libraries have been installed. Let's check whether it is installed or not. Let's, here you can see in projects.toml file all the libraries have been installed. Okay, let's clear the screen. Now we have to write the server one code weather.py file. Okay, so first of all we will import from fastmcp import fastmcp. This imports the fastmcp class, which lets us create a tool server like microservice using MCP protocol. Then we will import httpx. We will use this library to make http request. It is like a faster sync variant of request. Okay, then we initialize MCP. We create MCP server and give it name weather. Okay, then we will create decorator that tells MCP that the function below is a tool it can call. Then we will create async get weather function. This is our tool function. It takes a location like any city in the world and returns a weather string. Okay, then we will give the URL in this function to get the weather summary. Okay, then we will create asynchronous request get request using httpx. Then we will check if the request was successful using the status code 200. Then it will return the response text in clean text result, which will give the weather update, temperature, etc. Okay, as and exception handles error gracefully. Okay, then we will run if name is equal to main. This run the server locally on port 8000 using MCP. Okay, After that, we will write code for email tool.py for sending email. Okay. Now let's build the email sending tool. This will use Gmail SMTP to send emails from your account. Okay. So first of all, we will write from fastmcp import fastmcp. Same as before, we build another MCP server, this time for email. Okay. Then we will import smtplib library used to send email using the simple mail transfer protocol. Then we will import from email.message import email message. It will help create and format the email message. Then we will import operating system from .env import load.env. These are used to load sensitive information like passwords from .env file. Then load the .env file into environment variables. Then we will create MCP server with the name email. Okay. Then we will mark the function below as a callable tool. Okay. We will use this decorator. Then we will write define send email and to subject and body. Tool takes three inputs, which is recipient, subject and body. Okay. Then we will write inside the try block send email. This is the sender email address. Okay. Then we will sender password. We will get email app password. We will store this email app password in .env file. Here I have saved this environment variable email app password. Okay. Don't share this password to anyone. I will tell you at the end of this video how to get this email app password from your Gmail account. Okay. This will read the password securely from the environment. Then we build the email message and send it securely using SMTP SSL. Then run the email server on different port. The weather.py file will run on 8000, and this is another server which will run on port 8001. Okay, now our weather.py file and email tool.py file is ready. Okay, now let's write the code for client.py file. Okay, first of all, we will import from langchain MCP adapters .client import multi-server MCP client. This let us talk to multiple MCP server from one place. Okay. Then we will import from langgraph.prebuilt import create react agent. This gives us a pre-made langgraph agent that can think and act. Okay. Then we will import from langchain-groq import ChatGroq. Connects to the Groq LLM using. We will use model Qwen WQ32 billion model. Okay. So you have to require Groq API key. You can get the Groq API key from there by using your account. Okay. And paste it in environment variables. Then load your API keys and email passwords securely. Okay. Then we will write client dot equal to multi-server MCP client. Here we will define both weather and email server using their local URLs. Okay. Then we will set Groq key so we can use the model. So set the Groq API key in environment variables. Then tool is equal to await client dot get tools, which automatically discovers what functions each tool offer. Model is equal to ChatGroq, loads the LLM model. Okay. Then agent is equal to create React agent models, comma tools. It will build an agent that can decide which tool to use based on your user message. Okay. First, invoke ask agents to find weather in the city, which let's suppose we have to ask for the what is the weather of New York. Second, AI invoke ask agents to send email using the weather update. Okay. Then we will write asyncio.run when runs the entire async program. Okay. So, and that's it. You are now know how to build a weather checking tool, an email sending tool, and AI agent to control both. And one important thing is what is transport, which is equal to streamable HTTP. Okay. It defines how the agent communicates with the MCP tool server. Streamable HTTP means using HTTP protocol, simple web requests, but also supports streamed responses like chunked or partial outputs. Okay, useful when tools takes time to produce outputs in parts. So let's run the first of all weather.py file. We will write python weather.py. Here you can see it is running on port 8000. Okay, you can see in weather.py file we have mentioned it should be run on port 8000. Okay, now let's run the email tool.py file. We will open another command prompt terminal, and here we will write python email tool.py. Here you can see it is running on port 8001, and here you can see we have mentioned 8001. Now we will run the client.py file. Okay, here is the client.py file. Here you can see we have running weather.py file on port 8000 and email file on 8001. Okay, let's open another command prompt terminal, and here we will write python client.py. Let's wait. Here you can see weather responses. We have got the weather in the current weather in. We have entered prompt that send an email to following email with weather update and subject weather update. And we have asked the question, what is the current weather in Karachi? Okay, here you can see the current weather in Karachi is 33 degrees centigrade with haze. Let me know if you need another details. Here you can see email response. The email has been successfully sent to this email address with the weather update. Let me know if you need anything else. Here you can see it's amazing. Now let's go to the email address and see whether we have received this email or not. Let's open my Gmail account. Here I am opening, and here you can see I have weather update. Here you can see the current weather in Karachi is 33 degrees with haze. Let me know if you need any other details. And you can see similar response here in the email. The current weather in Karachi with haze, 33 degrees with haze. Let me know if you need further. Okay. So this is how MCP servers work. Here you can see in client.py file, this is the standardized protocol we have written, which is communicating between client and MCP server. Okay, so how you create Google app password? For this, you go to Google app passwords and you will click on this link, sign in with app passwords Google account help, and in this site you have to click on create and use app password, create and manage your app password. Click here and here you will enter your sender email. Okay, and here you will enter password. Next, here you will create to create new app password, type a name for it below. Here you will give the name of the password. Let's suppose MCP server PSW. Okay, and here you will create, and after creating this you will get the password. Click on create and here is the password. Okay, you will create done and copy this, and here is the password. I am deleting this password. Okay, so in this way you will get the Google app password and paste this password in here in your environment variable. Okay, so this is it for today. See you in the next video. Thank you very much.